Good morning, everyone. In today's video, we are doing the maths. I have actually just put in the numbers and I just kept blowing my nose because I'm a bit sick. So unfortunately, I'm just going to restart this just because it makes it sound a lot better. But most important things are, if you go to the apps, you will now see in id.fsl.com, there is now a GGUSD rewards tab. So if you have any leftover stablecoins, what you can do is simply just go to the swap function here and swap, let's say you have Polygon in this case. And if you wanted to, you can then just sell some of your Polygon, or sell, in my case, I always convert some of my GGT into USDT, but from now on, I just swap it into GGUSD. The main benefits, obviously, are the current yield at 8.26. So if you go down to the rewards, you can then see how they've based it. So at the moment, it is highly incentivized with a 5.6% boost. So you're not always going to be, it's not going to be a stable 8.26%. It's going to fluctuate. Right now, rewards are super high. The current base is 2.66, which is actually on the rather on the low end, but with the high boost, having 8.26% is really good. So it's worthwhile doing it right now. If you compare it to my other favorite app on Solana, which is Camino, you can see that in Camino, it is currently, they've also got a very similar system with the base rate being 3.44 and Syrup USDC is rewarding 2.53. So you're getting just under 6% here. And if you just ignore the boosted rewards, you can get 5.13% on USDC on the main market and not on the Maple market. There is also Jupe market, which is slightly higher at 5.47. But I guess all of them typically are below the 6% range, while with FSCID, we can get 8.2. So definitely worthwhile if you can do it for a little bit. Check it out. Like I said, I went and plugged the numbers. The main difference was floor dropped a little bit, GGT dropped 8%, GMT actually pretty stable, but it dropped a little bit, and then uncommon prices dropped by like 100 GMT, so it's not too bad compared to last week. You can also just pull up last week's video and you can see the numbers yourselves. From there, we basically just calculated how much we would have earned this week, which is the GGT price, and you're earning our 154. This is obviously assuming that when you play, you have hard feet. I don't want to calculate like a complete fresh beginner going down just because I don't want to do all that maths. So I'm just trying to keep it simple, but simply you would have earned 4.2 this week. You would have burned 14 energy, so you can see it there. And this is currently how I've been calculating kind of like how much energy is remaining, but we'll see how that goes, like how much more expected US dollars we're going to get. So it does keep declining, as you can see. It did plateau quite nicely in week 1 and 2. However, for week 3, it did take a bit of a hit. I think as we said, 8.8%. The current value of our investment of 66, let's just also highlight that one. So we started at 60 US dollars. We have now earned back $13, but we are just nearly at the halfway point. So if we're going at this prediction in the next, once we've burnt all this energy, we would be at about 30 US dollars needing to re-inject energy. So it is a bit of a slow one, unfortunately, but going to the other metrics, unfortunately, common times common breeding is back profitable, but once again, they have implemented all the extra mint quotas, so it is harder to mint. So even though minting is still highly profitable, it's just harder to mint, and then they've made a house essentially super negative, so negative nearly 30%. You can obviously, let's just hypothetically say, even though you're forced to do an 80-20 split, let's just say you put it on a second phone and gave it to your wife or your brother, the expected profit is only negative 2.5%. But for majority of the people, and especially anyone that is operating a house and is taking on scholars that aren't their family, they are losing 30%. And the expected profit right now is you are buying a shoe for $21. You're expecting your profit of $28, which is $7 per 90 energy. So not ideal, but it's still at the 25% range. Let's just continue to see how it is. So for me, I just injected, oh, I can't show you guys my energy here. I just bought a shoe the other day, in fact, yesterday. So I'm back in for another 90 days. I will let you know how it goes. As I said, I burn like 8 energy a day. So it takes me just over 12 days or like 11 and a half days to burn 90 energy. So I'm getting, if I can survive, I get 3 times this amount, so $21 from the game every month. But obviously it's slowly trickling down. But like I said, the previous month paid for this month, so I've got enough energy to keep going. So let's ride it out into the sunset. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.